the chairperson of the committee. Let's go to our second item on the agenda, the roll call, introduction of members. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Adele Bennett, committee member.
Vanessa Kwashi, resident.
George State Committee member.
Hazel Martinez.
Those that are just joining, can you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself? Okay, I'd like to recognize Marjorie Mead and Marjorie Silcott, and thank you everyone for being online this evening. We do not have any minutes to approve at this time. What I've been told from Ms. Lyons, they are complete. They just need to be corrected, so we should have them for our next meeting. So moving along to the next item on the agenda, chairperson report. I just want to touch on the transportation forum that we had last month. I think it was really a success. We had a good bit of the community come out. All the agencies that said they were going to participate did come out. We had the MTA, NYPD Transit, 67th Precinct. DOT did a presentation on the on the bike share program, as well as took general questions and concerns from the audience, as well as we had a Fairfares presentation. It was attended by Council Member Rita Joseph and Council Member Farr Lewis, as well as Assembly Member Monique Chandler Waterman. They were there not only echoing the feedback from the community, but supporting it. Councilmember Lewis really took a lot of info, and actually there was some paperwork circulated for community members to put their concerns about the bike share network and other things, particularly concerned in DOT. So there was some good traction that was made there. I believe there was a lot of engagement and a lot of good information that was given out. And I'd like to give a special thank you to Ms. Bennett. She attended and sat on the panel. She gave a lot of good feedback and was a good representative, not only for the community, but the committee especially. She was a real good voice. So like I said, thank you again, Ms. Bennett, for being there, your contribution. I believe tonight we're supposed to have, I don't see them in the room as yet, but we're supposed to have two people do presentations. Bike share is supposed to come back, I believe. From what I understand, this is with some of the feedback and consideration. And also we're supposed to have someone present on doing a street co-naming. So I don't see them in, but what I'd like to do right now, if you don't mind, Ms. Bennett, if you could please give some feedback about the forum and just give the members that weren't able to be there just what you were able to take away from it. Oh, you're breaking up really bad.
Can you hear me better now?
It's coming through just slightly better, but you're very muffled.
It's, I think it's the area I'm in. What I was going to say is that for next month, if possible, we could have in Beckford. She's a member of the NYPD Traffic Division. She's back in our area, and she represented last year very, very well. And I talked to her. She said she'd love to come back for June, if it's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. But no, the meeting, any questions that anybody has, I can try to answer them.
Well, not so
Any
much
other?
any questions. Just I just wanted, like you say, your takeaway from the forum, just to share that with the rest of the committee
It
members.
was very good. There was a lot of information given, especially at the end, and we need to do it again.
Yes, that was definitely the sentiment from the elected officials. They said that it was something that they felt it was a success and that it can be done even on a bigger scale next time. So I definitely think it's something that
Scale, but this time I'd like to have a lot of prepared questions,
mhm.
not just answers, but the issues that are plaguing this community can be addressed. If anyone has any issues for next month, if Becca can be there, she will. I say get your list of questions together.
Absolutely.
All
Yes.
right, thank you.
Yes, thank you for that feedback, Ms. Bennett. Um, at this time, I'm not seeing I'm not sure. I think a couple more people jumped on the line. Is there anyone here from uh the street co-naming or DOT City Bike? Oh, I see Mr. Tate's hand is up. If nobody is here, Mr. Tate, the floor is yours.
The street co-naming, yes.
The street co-naming, yes, you're here. Okay. Mr. George, is this
Yeah,
something we
no,
can get
yeah,
back to in new business? Or would you like
no,
to?
just a
Yes,
question on something. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
go ahead.
you mentioned that regarding the forum that the next one should be done in a larger scale.
Mhm.
What do you mean by that? Mhm.
Basically, I guess the way Councilmember Joseph put it, it was that there should be more agencies involved, more electeds in the room. Because at the time, there, like I said, they were only two that were able to make it. Well, the only three that were able to make it, and just have more. We did, like I said, we had a good bit of people there, but it'd have been better with a full room.
Oh, so basically there were only three agencies showed up. Is that
No,
what you're
only three
saying?
elected show up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
representatives from their office did come.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, so basically the councilwoman was talking about having more people at the
Yeah.
forum, more
Mhm.
people present.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
No
Okay,
problem.
thank you.
And also, this Miss Bennett, also maybe we can have it on this side of the borderline.
Yes, that was
And
something that we
lots-
spoke about in the executive committee. It was just that at the time, because I believe Ms. Fields got put in the same predicament as me with basically with us as far as there was no locations available. Everything was either booked up or by the time with the rearranging of dates, it was too late. But yes, I definitely agree that we got to do more stuff within the district.
Yeah, and start earlier. If we get them
Yes,
there
that
early
was
enough,
another feedback that Councilmember Joseph gave. Start a little earlier.
yes, definitely.
But
And like I said, we got a list of complaints from the members in the community that we need to deal with. They're here now, so we can get a list. Either that or send those to the community board.
absolutely, thank you, Ms. Bennett.
Remember, Bedford deals with the trucks and truck enforcement.
Say it again. You're breaking up.
Beckford deals with truck enforcement.
Yes, yes. You have to please. I'll call you tomorrow and get her email and stuff like that, or a number for her so I can reach out.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, perfect.
All right, so moving along to the next agenda item, we have a presentation. I believe Ms. Natasha Duncan is here to speak on behalf of the street co-naming, Chantel Davis Way, which would be on East 38th Street. I'm not sure of the cross streets, but Ms. Duncan, the floor is
I
yours.
have Angie Hicks trying to join in to actually speak on that because I don't know if there's a conflict of interest since I'm on the board.
Ah, okay. Do they have the link?
She has the link, but I don't know why she said it's either not going through or downloading.
Okay. Let me see if I can
Give
get
her
the
2 minutes.
Yeah, I can also let me see if I can find the call-in number.
Okay. If I could provide, if you could provide the call-in number, I probably could get that out faster.
Oh, actually, I need to copy the link. Sorry, hold on. Um, I'm not sure if that's gonna do it. Copy link. Thank you, Ms. Lyons. Is this who we was waiting on? Rashawn Robinson?
So, yes, that's a part of the street code naming. She's having a problem with the audio.
Hi, good evening. Sorry, I was
Okay.
having trouble with my audio.
Hey, good evening. No worries.
Good evening.
Thank you for coming tonight. Welcome to the Transportation Committee meeting. This is for Chantel Davis Way on East 38th Street. Please, the floor is yours.
Correct. 1 second. Okay. So, Chantel Davis was a loyal friend and a fixture in East Flatbush in Brooklyn District 45. And she lived her life as a full member of that community. She had many friends. She attended school. She was known for helping out the older people in the neighborhood, whether it was carrying groceries or running small errands for them, picking up medication, doing shopping. She did youth mentorship, especially around the basketball courts where she loved playing basketball as well. Unfortunately, Chantel was killed in 2012 and by an NYPD officer. And we are petitioning to have the street named after her, Chantel Davis Way, in commemoration of her life and her commitment to the 45th District. We hold an annual basketball tournament in honor of Chantel. This year will be our 10th tournament that we're holding in her honor because she loved basketball and youth empowerment and enrichment. And we would like to have the honor of having the street name co-named after her.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Robinson. I definitely sympathize with your movement and what this symbolizes for the community, and just, how many times we've been plagued by this and how many times we've had to name streets after people where it should be for good things, but unfortunately it's because they've been lost. So definitely understand. I'd like to know, is there any questions from any of the committee members for Ms. Robinson about either Ms. Davis or just I do have a quick question also. Where this I saw it's on East 38th Street, but this is from where to where on East 38th?
One second, I'm sorry.
No problem.
The corner of Church Avenue and East 38.
The corner, okay, gotcha. And I believe I did see there was some support given. I think one was from Anthony Beckford. Who else is supporting the co-naming so far?
We have one support letter, as you've just mentioned, for Anthony Beckford. We were also waiting to hear from the board to see what more we needed to show, whether it be signatures from the neighborhood or other elected officials before we continued gathering that support.
Okay, gotcha. So yes, I will provide you some guidance. Usually the way it goes is that when people come to present to the committee, they have signatures from people actually on the from either the intersection or the between the blocks that they actually want to do the co-naming for, just to make sure that there is that support from the community. Also, they will like usually some elected officials to be behind it as well. Usually, oh, and from what Ms. Lyons just put in the chat, 90% of the block must be in agreement. So yeah, the signatures are important. And elected officials is definitely a big help with them because they will basically have an impact on a lot of times what the community board thinks. So I would recommend, because for one, we can't move on it here tonight because we do not have quorum. So what the plan would have been would be to ask you to come to our general board meeting to present it to the full board for it to be voted upon. But unless you, I'm not sure if you believe you can accomplish that. I think the next board meeting is on is it this Wednesday or is it next Wednesday? Mr. Tate, your hands raised.
Yes, no, I would just have to mention that don't we have to involve the council member because I do believe that it is the council member that would have to present this in order to have a co-naming. The council member is the person who would have to bring it up to City Hall, if I'm correct.
Gotcha. That
So I think they need to contact the council member for the area before they proceed.
thank you. Gotcha. Miss Bennett.
Okay.
And
Oh,
also,
I'm sorry. Yeah, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to be clear. The person who spoke, did she mention that Chantel was killed by NYPD?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the circumstances in that? You said it was 2012? Mhm.
have to look it up.
It says just before her death, I think it says she had a crash in a stolen car intersection in East Flatbush.
Mm-hmm.
The car was not stolen.
Well, yeah, it
As,
says allegedly, yeah.
as many as these cases, a lot of false information came out in the news.
Yeah, I'm just literally just pulling up just what's on Google. So going off of that. So yeah, so like I said, my recommendation will be to get signatures and to also get the support of a council member. Because I can tell you for a fact, if you were to bring it to the board meeting, the next board meeting in the same manner, it would definitely 100% not be voted upon in the manner which, you wanted to. So, do you have any other questions or any other guidance you would like?
Okay,
Yes,
so,
no,
uh,
yeah. When I asked the circumstance, I was just wondering, was she shot? Was it choked? What was how was she killed? Basically, that was
Shot.
basically. Did I hear someone say she was shot?
Yes.
Yeah. so the officer went into the car and
Mhm.
his version of the story is that his gun released without him firing it. But what happened after that was he dragged her out of the car after she was shot, and she bled out on the floor next to the car.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
All right.
So just to be clear, I need support from one council member and 90% of the signatures in the intersection from the intersection 38th and Church.
Yes.
From the block. Yeah, from the block.
Mhm.
The signature part, like I said, that's that is what I was told. I've never particularly seen them gauge the percentage of signatures. So generally it's get as many signatures as possible. They need to see that most of the block of the intersection, the area is in support of it. So the more signatures you have, the better. And definitely at least one elected official, the more is better as well. Because like just for example, there was one the last co-name that came through, I believe, even though it was a very lengthy co-naming, but there probably was 11 elected officials attached to it. So if you really like I said, I'm not saying you don't, but I mean to really do your due diligence to get this to pass, it's gonna take a little bit of extra work just to get it done. Like I said, and then once you do get that information, you can come back to the committee and then we can move it.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Ms. Bennett.
What I was going to say is, remember? What I was going to say is that since it's East 38th Street, she wants to co-name. She has to get those signatures from the people on East 38th Street. Not intersection, you said East 38th. So we have to get them from that address, from all those addresses, either east or west. And we got all the buildings in north and south. What side are you going to do it on? The whole 2 blocks, 3 blocks? How many blocks?
Yes, Ms. Duncan, please.
I would like to know if there's guidance in writing, because this sounds like a bunch of people thinking what needs to be done. Is there guidance in writing that can be forwarded to the email? Because the first official documentation or writing had none of this indicated on it.
What
About City
documentation is that?
Hall, we're talking about the signatures. The paperwork that originally was sent through did not have all of these requirements.
And this is you received this paperwork from Community Board 17?
Correct.
Okay, and that was basically the paperwork that gets the information on what the co-naming is, where it's at, whatnot like that. But generally speaking, which I apologize that weren't given more guidance, I guess, when you I don't know if you called in or how we went about getting the paperwork, but generally, like I said, when people come to the meeting for co-naming, they have signatures and a support letter. Like I said, you already have one support letter, so that you already I know like the guidance is kind of there. That part, like I said, just the signatures and an actual elected official. That letter you have is a great letter because he's definitely a community leader and someone that that people, that has influence. So that's a good letter you have. Like I said, you just also need the signatures, um, and an elected to support, because it's not so much a thing that's in writing, it's something that has to be voted upon amongst the board members. And I just that's why I was trying to give you the guidance, 'cause I know what the board members are going to require and
I
want to
understand.
vote.
What I'm asking you for is more guidance in writing, because we waited, this is when we submitted this 2 months ago, so this could have been done already, had we known that we needed the elected officials or the signatures. So now we're about to go on break, and we're talking about, when we return or something, because it has to be rushed. The meeting is tomorrow, correct?
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. It'd be better for you to try to do the June meeting, bring it back for June. That way you can come to the committee meeting first, and then we can get you on the agenda for the general board meeting in June.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Alrighty. If no one else has any questions for
No, I'm a little correction. I'm sorry I didn't raise my hand, but
no problem, Mr. Tate.
the board meeting is not tomorrow.
Oh, is it next
Or,
Wednesday? Is it
yeah,
17th?
the board meeting is the third Wednesday of the month, which will be the 17th.
Oh, okay, yes, the 17th. My apologies.
Okay.
Yeah, so I still think it's quite a rush process. If you can,
Yeah.
um,
mhm.
if you can, and it'd have to be something that would have to be done by the end of the week, so I can get you on for the meeting next Wednesday. But like I said, I feel like that's a bit rushed, and it'd be better suited to help you move it properly if you had the extra time.
Yes. Okay. My recommendation would be that if, speak to the council member for that district. Okay, because number one, there is a, it has to go through the city council for one, and two, there is a timeline, like a deadline for when they do that. Because I do remember every time someone comes to the board for excuse me, for co-naming, there is a timeline that the council member will have to present it to the city council in order to get the approval for the renaming. So I would say the first thing after tonight that you may want to do is contact your council member and tell her exactly what, the location, and they will guide you through this.
Thank you. I'll speak to Miss Lewis as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mr. Tate.
You're welcome.
Okay, okay. If nobody else has any questions, we're gonna move along with our agenda. I do see, I think there's a couple people joined in. Is there anyone from DOT on the line? Nope, no DOT tonight. Okay. So moving on to our next agenda item, new business. Does anyone from the committee have any new business or any general input or feedback or anything they'd like to bring to the committee at this time? Yes, Ms. Bennett.
Yes, we still have a major problem with the excessive derelict vehicles, buses, RVs in this area.
What I know Ms.
RVs are
Fraser
homes.
has a list.
Those are private homes.
What how much do you know as far as location wise, so we can get a full list compiled and have
So,
something.
there's this one on, it moves around, but it's on Avenue D between 57 and 58.
Okay.
And it's a sanitation issue because it's adjacent, it's opposite a public school, or not a public school, but a elementary school. I passed by there in the summer when it was hot last year, and it stink.
Hmm.
Now there's two instead of one.
Gotcha. Any others that you can think of off the top of your head?
Well, the trucks on Kings Highway, they're all over the place. And then you have the dollar buses, or rather, the mini buses. They're all over. That's why I had suggested having Beckford come for the next for June meeting.
Yeah, if I think if what something we should all do, everyone in the committee, we should try to see as we're making our way through the community or speaking to anyone or anything like that, start making notes of these different areas where they do have these trucks and derelict vehicles. So when we do have this meeting, when she comes to this meeting next month, we have, like I said, a full compiled list
Yes.
to show.
Yes. Also, for the derelict vehicles with no plates, sanitation should be invited
Gotcha.
because that, yeah, they deal with that part before NYPD and sanitation teamed up together. But now nothing is going on. Not for a couple of years.
Gotcha.
We need to start doing it again. We can clear out a lot of these vehicles. And they say they have no place to put them. How come other communities can get it done, but this one can't? That's what I need you to look into.
Yeah,
And don't believe everything the 6-7 tells you.
it's the lack of resources that they put to
Communities,
use out here.
yeah, and they get it done, and we can't.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I think it's like a Brooklyn-wide issue as well. A city-wide issue,
Mhm.
really.
We are not the dump, but we are seen to be a dumping ground.
Mm-hmm. Communities that look like ours.
Mm-hmm. Get to be the dumping ground. We get to be the toilet, and I'm sick of it.
Maybe both.
Oh yeah. But sanitation, they take them. They don't. They take them and crush them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There's no coming to get it. No place. It's gone.
Oh, yeah, we got to just try to find a way to make them proactive in our community.
We need a way, not just a way, a process,
Yes,
a permanent one.
you're very correct about that.
We can get. And as for the trucks, that's Beckford. There's something called a 3-hour storage.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot leave a truck adjacent to school, a park, which is still legally residential. Go down Brooklyn Avenue. They think if you park near a cemetery, it's fine. It's still legally residential. A lot of people don't know that. No commercial vehicles can be there. Go around the cemetery on Snyder. It looks like a truck stop. And legally, they cannot be there.
Yeah,
And the ones that take the plates off, that's still sanitation.
gotcha. So yeah, I definitely tie them in for this next meeting, so we try to make this last meeting as worthwhile as possible.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
I'm surprised DOT didn't show up, and those bike share people didn't show up.
Yeah, they did not.
Because they want to, I think what they're going to do is try to bypass us to put those bikes in our community? Because we voted no a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and they didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure they reached out kind of last minute saying they wanted to come, then didn't show up. So I'm not sure.
Well, I guess we got to reach out to them and find out what happened to them.
Yeah, definitely find out tomorrow.
My question is, we may have to get a list together of places to put them, because I think they're going to like I said, bypass us and just kind of put them here without our knowledge, and that should not be done.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully.
we may have to be proactive and reach out to them.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna figure out what happened and why
Hello,
they didn't show
hello,
up.
hello. I had my hand up. This is not the Adele and Chairperson Community Board meeting of Transportation.
I'm
Sorry
sorry.
to interrupt, but this is a waste of my time. I like an apology from the DOT and whoever was supposed to be here tonight. This is my first time attending the transportation meeting since our chairperson has left, and I don't mean to be rude, but I think the two organizations that were supposed to be here tonight owes us an apology. This is not acceptable, and I think Ms. Bennett is correct. We should put a list together of where we want these places to be and not let them dictate to us. And that's all I have to say for tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Does anyone else from the committee have anything to say?
No, but she's correct. They should not dictate to us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I feel like everyone is on the same page with that. If there is no other input or any other feedback, because we do not have our presentators here tonight, which, yes, I agree they do owe us apology for not coming, but I also think there's a way to go about everything. That being said, I'd like to move for adjournment. I appreciate you all being here tonight. Like I said, apologies on behalf of the agencies. Well, just the one agency, DOT, that wasn't able to make it because the co-naming did show up, and they did present. So, like I said, thank you all for being here, and I'd like to adjourn the transportation meeting for tonight. Thank you.
No, I second.
Yes, we adjourn. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Ms. Lyons. Thank you.